Rugby World Rankings, folks, after 4 rounds of the Rugby Championship 2025, and we have a new team, or back to the old team at number 1. The Boks, with their massive win over the ABs in Wellington, have reclaimed top spot in the world, taking a whopping 2.25 points off the ABs to send the ABs plummeting down into third spot. So they've swapped the ABs and the Boks. The Irish are just sitting there in the middle and second, watching us kind of trade places. But yeah, it didn't take long for the Boks to reclaim number 1, and the All Blacks, conversely, were not at number 1 for very long. It is pretty hard to maintain number 1 spot if you get beaten by a record margin at home. So well done to the Boks. Back to number 1 in the world. France and England are still there in the chasing pack. And there's also changes in that crucial 6th and 7th spots. Remember, we talk about it virtually every time we do the World Rankings these days. 6th spot is the cutoff marker for being drawn as a top seed at the next World Cup. So if you want to avoid teams 1 through 5, a 6th spot is a nice one to be in. Whereas if you're in 7th, you're guaranteed to get one of the teams in 1 through 5. The Pumas, with their win over the Wallabies, managed to take that 6th spot off the Wallabies. So the Wallabies are back into the second row on the old whiteboard, dropping 1.56. So given that it's a straight points exchange, it's kind of more of a 3-point gain, if you want to put it that way. The Wallabies dropping 1.5 and the Pumas gaining 1.5 means it was actually quite a big change. So that's a really crucial one for the Pumas. Remember, they are traveling to South Africa next, so it's not going to get any easier. But the Wallabies will be heading over here to New Zealand for Bledisloe Cup. So that's what the Rugby Championship has done to the World Rankings. They weren't the only games on at the weekend. There was also some crucial World Cup qualifying match in terms of the US played Samoa. Samoa, I feel like, would usually be pretty hot favorites against the US, but over in the US, the Eagles boys got that one done, so they are up 3 spots in the Rugby World Rankings and have qualified for the next World Cup. So they've joined the recent qualifiers like Canada, like Tonga, like Uruguay. The US will be at the next World Cup, which, given they're hosting the one after the Aussie one, you feel like is a pretty important one for US rugby. So big congratulations to the US. They have made the World Cup. The Samoans are not out of it just yet. They will face Chile in a direct qualifying match this coming week. And Chile are by no means easy beats. They had the same qualification scenario last time and they beat the US to make the World Cup. So Chile also just beat Uruguay. Will be a cracking match up against Samoa, so a very important one for both sides. Elsewhere, Japan also won their Pacific Nations Cup match up against Tonga, so they did get kind of a marginal points game, but not enough to head up to Wales's spot, which I guess in terms of being pools of 6 could also be a crucial one. You'd rather be in 12th than in 13th to be a second seed rather than a third seed. And Fiji hammered the Canadians, didn't take any points because the points difference between them is too great. But Fiji and Japan will face off in a Pacific Nations Cup deciding match this coming weekend. So that, with the Rugby Championship on a break in terms of men's rugby, will probably be the biggest game in town. Obviously, the Women's World Cup is also on, so those will be some big semi-finals too. But yeah, what's potentially going to happen for these Rugby Championship teams once the competition gets back underway in a fortnight's time? Well, the Boks are hosting the Pumas. The Boks are too far ahead of the Pumas with home advantage to take any points off the Pumas boys. So you remember, you get scored at +3. So they'll be on 94.62 for scoring purposes, which is just too far ahead of the Pumas to take any points off them. The Pumas could send the Boks down if they were to get an upset away window, and they would send Ireland top of the log, matter of fact. And Pumas, it's kind of a good position to be in for World Rankings that they won't lose any points, just given how hotly contested, 6th and 7th is. If they can get a win, then heck, they'll be really putting their stamp on that 6th spot, or potentially looking upwards as well. For the All Blacks, they got the Wallabies at Eden Park. They can't take much in the way of points off the Wallabies because the points gap was pretty big with the home advantage. They can take like 0.25 if they were to get a 16-point or more win. but it's not going to be a huge difference maker in terms of where the teams are sitting in the world rankings. It's not going to be enough to catch Ireland, that's for sure. But the Wallabies could retake 6th if they would get a win, and they could send the All Blacks all the way down to 5th if they were to break that Eden Park record. So there's still heaps of rugby going on this weekend, folks. Like I said, Samoa is going to play Chile for the World Cup. Fiji and Japan will be contesting the Pacific Nations Cup final. Tonga and Canada will be playing as well. Women's World Cup is still going on. The semis, the big 4 teams made the semis. It's been pretty entertaining stuff. But yeah, you guys let us know your thoughts. How fair or not do you reckon the world rankings are? It's pretty hard to deny South Africa #1 when they put in a performance like that down in Wellington. But yeah, you guys let us know your thoughts. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. We're cracking towards 100K. It'd be nice to get there, maybe before the end of the year. But yeah, you guys help me out with that if you haven't done so already. Thank you for being here. Take care, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. See ya.